Yep.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Okay, pursuant to the Massachusetts Open Meeting Law, MGL 38, 940 CMR, notice is hereby given of a meeting of the Fall River Redevelopment Authority, Wednesday, March 27th, 2024. We are in the City Council hearing room, 1 Government Center in Fall River. This meeting is open to the public to attend in person at the above referenced date and time and location. Recording of the open session can be viewed at Fall River Government Television, which is www.frgtv.us. Pursuant to the open meeting law, any person may make an audio or video recording of this public meeting or may transmit the meeting through any medium. Attendees are therefore advised that such recording and transmission are being made, whether perceived or unperceived, by those present and are deemed acknowledged and permissible. We're going to go to the roll call. John Erickson.
Louis Condos present.
Ron Rooston, present.
Joan Maderas, present.
Ann Keen, present.
Also attending, Sarah Page, our Executive Director, Ken Fiola, Administrative Services Consultant, and Karen Martin, Project Manager. First item is approval of the open session minutes from February 28th, 2024. Any comments on those minutes?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
John Erickson, yes.
Louis Condos, yes.
Ron Rooston, yes.
Joan Maderas, yes.
Ann Keen, yes.
Thank you. Next item is the warrant, which is a total of $88,441. Any questions on any of those disbursements? If not, we need a motion to approve the warrant.
Motion to move the warrant.
Second,
Second.
John Erickson, yes.
Louis Condos, yes.
Ron Rooston, yes.
Joan Maderas, yes.
Ann Keen, yes.
Thank you. Karen, conflict of interest training.
I just wanted to remind everybody, and I put it in the board package that went out last Friday, is you all should have received an email from the city clerk about doing the ethics training that has to be done every 2 years regarding conflict of interest training. This was in the board packet. If you just follow along here, you will be able to get into it and do it, and it automatically then gets registered back with the city that it's been done.
So you do it right online.
Yeah, you do it right online. Everything's done right online.
So we were sent something recently?
Probably about, I think towards the end of February, you might have got it.
No.
But it's in your board packet.
Didn't get it? Oh,
We
all
didn't
right.
get a separate email. We got what you sent.
Sent. Yeah,
Okay, you
but-
didn't get that separate email?
No.
Oh, all right. So what I would do is then just follow what's in this packet and
This
just
one?
get that done. Yes, yep. So, any questions or any issues with it, just let me know. Okay? There's no real deadline, but we just ask that you.
Next item, guys, is the lease agreement with the city. Karen's gonna give us a quickie on it.
Yes, so, we did finally get the services agreement back from the city, and that's been all signed. Johnny's just got to, we are already authorized him to sign it once the city approved it, and the city approved it, signed it, and it's ready for his signature. I have it here tonight for him to sign. And then in conjunction with that, they've issued a separate lease agreement, which follows along with the same guidelines of the services agreement. It's, it renews every year unless someone, either we say, we no longer want to be in City Hall, or they no longer want us in City Hall. And then we just need to approve that and authorize Johnny to execute it.
Yeah, so I'll entertain a motion to approve that lease agreement.
Is this the first lease agreement we had with them?
Yeah, they never, we were talked about it months ago.
Yes.
And
Actually, longer than months ago.
It's just gotten completed, and we're now ready to sign it. And it's going to be dated back to, we'll start paying rent as of August 1st.
September 1st.
September
That's what it
1st.
said, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
September 1st.
Were we paying rent before that?
No,
So also, they're gonna start charging rent now?
Yes.
Okay.
The Redevelopment Authority years ago had paid rent, and then it wasn't required for a couple of years, and now we're basically paying rent again.
Well, flying under the radar, I think.
So motion to move
okay.
the lease as approved.
Second?
Second.
John Erickson, yes.
Louis Gonzalez, yes.
Ron Rusin, yes.
Joan Maderos, yes.
And we need to authorize Johnny to sign it.
Okay. Authorized to go forward with the lease and have Johnny sign it.
Second?
Second.
John Erickson, yes.
Louis Gonzalez, yes.
Ron Rusin, yes.
Joan Maderos, yes.
Dan King, yes.
Thank you. Norton City Pier, Karen?
Oh, okay, just some quick updates, on the dock. So there's been a few, updates that are, good and bad. We're progressing with getting all the signs that we talked about at the last meeting, so that's all moving along. I did spend some time talking with Paul Burke and the insurance company about the fire extinguishers. We are losing that battle. If we want insurance coverage on our city pier, we need to put fire extinguishers on the dock. So I'm gonna proceed with going ahead and doing that. And the other thing, we talked about bringing electrical out for the harbor master boat on the dock. The harbor master did a bunch of legwork, and they're able to actually get a solar unit put on the boat that will do that. So we don't need to invest in that. So, they're gonna go ahead and do that, so that saves us, a decent amount of effort. So, that will help us a lot. Right now, we're in the process of, I'm talking with the sprinkler subcontractor about getting him out there and doing some repair to the drip lines and getting him ready to get the system back online and operational. And I'm gonna be circling back with the harbor master about when we're gonna actually lower the gangplank and gangway. We're not walking the gangplank. Get the gangway lowered and get moving on opening the docks.
Were you just talking about the irrigation system
On City Pier, yeah.
a minute ago? Is that what you
Yeah.
meant?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep. And,
Is that still under warranty or no?
no, not the startup and all of that. No, none of that's not under warranty. He owned one spring, he owned last spring. The environmental closeout at City Pier, that's progressing. There's been a little bit of a delay because there was some issues once the survey finished out on the parcel with the Mets and bounds, because there was some description clarification that needs to get made because there's 3 deeds that have to be recorded, and they have to change some of the wording because the sheet piling that was installed, the parcel size actually increased due to that. So he's working through that with the anticipation that by our April meeting, we will have the AUL with the restrictions, and we'll need to approve the wording with the AUL map that we've already approved. And then we'll need to get authorization for Johnny to sign that AUL, and then we'll be able to finalize the document and then get that in for recording in the deed. And he'll also hopefully have by the next meeting, the draft of the final closeout, which, what do they call that, the project? Permanent solution. So hopefully the draft of that will be ready too by the next meeting. And then between the timeline of once we get that all signed and then we record it in the deed, another 30 days passes with Mass DEP. So hopefully by the end of May, we'll have an environmentally closed out City Pier. So fingers crossed that all works out. And then events included in the board package was the final schedule of events for City Pier. I think there'll be a decent amount of activity out there. The big thing for us is the grand opening and the Rock the Dock celebration. So in that board packet was the example of the invitation that we're gonna send out with the Rock the Dock flyer. And those invitations, the only thing we're finalizing right now is the band, and Sam from the mayor's office is working through with who the band's gonna be and the logistics of that. Once the band's known, then we can probably send the invitations out. We'd like to get them out in the early part of April so people can plan accordingly, because I think it's a busy time of year with graduations and just people getting excited for summer. So, and if there's anyone, or just a quick reminder, if there's anyone that you guys want a special invitation to go to, just let me know, and I can get the invitations out to them, either mail or email, whatever works out best. And then Northfield Point. So we were able to finalize the RFP for the design phase of the project. That went out to public bid today. The opening will be on April 18th. And we've already got a few people have requested the document. So we're hoping to get a good response to that. And that's for the kind of, you know, the passive recreation area for the north part of the Deval Street, and the 3 new mooring fields, and the accommodation for dinghy docking for those additional moorings. So hopefully that will get us a good response, and hoping to have a consultant to present at the next meeting. So hopefully we'll move along with that.
Thanks, Karen.
I think that's all I've got.
Let's see, Sarah's gonna give a project updates on 3 items.
So you may have heard that yesterday there was a press conference in the Flint neighborhood. And the great news last week was that the city was awarded $1,666,279. I don't know how they got that number, but
No
that's
sense.
of infrastructure funding for Pleasant Street. And so Congressman Auchincloss was in town yesterday, and the mayor and I think our state reps coordinated with him to do this press conference. It was very well attended by a number of our media folks, and Mike Dion asked us to prepare boards that would be on easels to be at Gilbert's Jewelers, because Gilbert's is one of the businesses that is getting a really wonderful new facade and sign and lighting in front of their buildings. And so, so Karen got a couple of boards made up of the graphics out of our urban renewal plan, and we had those there, and they're in the they're in the Herald News. And I think a real article is probably coming tomorrow, but right now Colin Furs has a whole bunch of photographs. And it was a really great press conference. Representative Fiola and Representative Schmidt were there, and they both spoke, and the mayor and Congressman Auchincloss. And then we walked to the street for a while and stopped in at a number of stores and businesses, and that was really great and wonderful to have that kind of support and highlight of the Pleasant Street area. And the funding will be for, we think a lot of the focus may be on trees and crosswalks and sidewalk repairs, and we still have to figure it out, but it's specifically infrastructure. And then next week we have a meeting scheduled at City Hall to talk about a next piece of our Pleasant Street implementation plan. And I pointed out to folks that we still had $40,000 left in our grant from, it's really a grant to the city, but we've been coordinating a lot of the work. It funded the work of Innes Associates doing our master plan, our urban renewal plan, and our neighborhood plan. And so this $40,000 can be used to implement a number of goals in the plan. And so the meeting we're having next week with the mayor and Ken, Mike Dion, a number of folks, is to figure out exactly how we're going to use that $40,000. And Monica, our program officer from Mass Housing, will be here and will be working on a plan for that $40,000. So that's really good. And then other really good news for Pleasant Street is the city had applied to the Bloomberg Philanthropies, and the city has gotten Bloomberg funding before, and they applied for the position of the liaison that we had written into our plan, saying if we're going to do all of this work, we need a liaison who works with the neighborhood and works with City Hall and helps, put all these pieces together with us. And so they applied for that and they got it funded. And so they're going to be able to hire what's kind of being considered a fellow, but it's reasonably well paid, and we've been told that we'll have input into the hiring process, and that person will work closely with us. And the grant also includes small grants to be given to 10 civic organizations to do work with us in the Flint. So I am really happy that we have some funding coming and some clear next steps.
One question.
Yes.
On the 1.66 million, who's gonna be in charge of doing that?
It's going to the city, but we'll be working, I think, closely with Mike Dion and the Community Development Agency to try to push through. I imagine it will go through HUD,
Yep.
and staff at the Congressman's office are going to work with us, and we're going to do our best to get it through all the bureaucracy it has to go through. And then I'm sure Mike will, Mike and his team will probably implement the grant, but we'll be really involved to make sure that it's, coordinated with the work of the urban renewal plan.
Okay, and last question, that grant from the Bloomberg Philanthropy, is that a 1-year grant, 2-year grant?
It's 2-year.
2-year grant, okay.
Yep.
Great,
So it's great to have this liaison for 2 years, and they're looking at it as one of these fellow kind of positions where you get somebody who wants to focus for a couple of years, and then, potentially you can find a way to hire them over the long term if you and they want to do that.
okay.
So, next is our progress on the master plan for the Route 79 Deval Street corridor. We had another meeting this morning with the consultants, and they're making really great progress. What they were showing us today were a number of things, but they were showing their analysis of the utilities and the fact that the utilities that are needed for each of the parcels are all planned to be there as the Mass DOT plans had been worked through. So they were thrilled to confirm that all the utilities would be on all of the parcels. They're setting up meetings with Liberty and the city water and sewer department and with National Grid, and going to really work on the plans for the utilities. And they've been working on understanding all of the design of Deval Street, where the stoplights are, and they had a lot of questions that we couldn't answer on our team at the last meeting. So we connected them with Lenny at Trans Systems, who worked really closely with Mass DOT through the planning process, and he sent an email answering a number of their questions. And so I was happy that we could connect them, because he's a really good resource to understand kind of what is there, what's planned, why certain decisions were made. And they're just working through all the pieces, and it's really encouraging. And I'm really impressed with the work they're doing, so I'm very pleased that they're working with us.
They think of a lot of things that I would never think of.
That's where their plan is.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions on any of the other items or anything? The chair makes a finding that an open session would have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the public body. Purpose of the executive session is to approve the executive session minutes from February 28, 24, and discuss strategy with respect to potential real estate transactions for property located at Assessor Map 22, Lot 9 on Deval Street, 191 Commerce Drive, and at parcel W19-0187 on Innovation Way. I'll entertain a motion to enter into executive session and not to return to open session.
Motion to enter into executive session and not come back.
Second?
Second.
John Erickson, yes.
Louis Gonzalez, yes.
Ron Rushin, yes.
Joan Maderas, yes.
Ann Keen, yes.
Thank you.